Hey, Russ Siegel here, Executive Director of Sequoia Fund. And it's been a while since I put out a video, but I wanted to talk specifically today to those of you in the nonprofit sector. Now, we have for-profit businesses. I consider nonprofits for-cause businesses. Your job is not to not make a profit. Your job is to promote or to forward a cause, to do some good in your community. And right now, you are feeling the pinch of this coronavirus pandemic just as much, if not more so, than a lot of private businesses. So I wanted to talk to you just for a second and maybe give you some ways to think about this. For cause organizations, look, you do good work. You're out there every day. You're feeding the hungry. You're housing the homeless. You're vaccinating the vulnerable. You're doing a lot of good things, whether it's domestic violence or drug abuse or anything else in your community. These are vital, yes, essential services, but you may not be considered essential right now. That's the cold, hard reality. And so you are, in effect, shut down too. You have right now no revenue, no fee income, and the prospect of future grants may seem pretty iffy. When we think about all of the places where we normally get grants from, whether those are foundations or whether those are from companies or other organizations, when we are in an economic collapse like we are facing and everyone is burning through cash to stay alive, that means there may be less cash to give to you when you need it most. You may still have grant obligations to fulfill. You may still have grantors who want you to do certain things by a certain deadline. And that's a reality as well. Again, depending on where that grant funder is coming from and what they're going through right now, they may not be thinking about extending your deadlines. They may not think about giving you a no-cost extension. But those things are possibilities. We just have to ask. You may have very specific activities outlined in these award letters that you have to fulfill, or you have to give the grant money back. And right now, having a healthy balance sheet just doesn't mean very much, because the money that sits on your balance sheet may be for things that you can't do right now. Well, it's time to get entrepreneurial. It's time to put on that startup hat again. It's time to think about your for-cause organization as an entrepreneurial startup. Everything is different right now. Everything we knew is out the window, and every possibility is on the table. There are no dumb questions, and there are no stupid ideas, only ideas that we don't vet, that we don't think of. There's something out there we can do. And I'm going to give you an example or two from the for-profit world, because again, we're not that different. We have a client who is in the security business, and they run mainly trucks with cash. They carry currency for banks and other institutions. That's what they do. But the people who work for them are licensed to carry firearms. And when their institutions stopped moving cash because of the coronavirus, they stopped needing trucks. But nothing happens in a bubble. And when the economy goes down, crime generally, historically, goes up. So they started contacting neighborhoods, housing developments, homeowners associations, apartment complexes, and other places that needed security. And they said, if you'll contract with us, we will provide security for your residents, for your business, and so forth. And so they've been able to pick up some contracts that way. We talked with a taxi company, licensed taxi drivers, licensed vehicles, clean, well-maintained vehicles. And we said, look, is there a possibility that you could start delivering for local grocery stores? In our rural area, we don't have Grubhub. We don't have Shipt and all the other organizations, all the other companies, the gig economy that goes out and does your shopping for you. And so we've tried to help this cab company make a shift, because when people can't ride in cabs, that doesn't mean that those cabs can't still drive around with licensed drivers, insured, bonded, trusted, to deliver medication from the local drugstore, or groceries from the local grocery store, or even building supplies or anything else that you might need to have delivered. So we're seeing some for-profit companies start to try to make a shift. Now is the time to go and talk to your local politicians. Is there any role in your community that your organization could fill? Is there a way that your organization could use your expertise to do something in your community that you could get paid for? Local governments still have money. They find needs all the time, and you might be able to fulfill those needs. Talk to your funders. Look, banks will give you a deferment on your loan payments. It's true. They will give you forbearance on your mortgage account, but you have to ask for it. The reason banks are not just out there moving people's money around and changing people's terms on their loans is because you have a contract with them. And if it were the other way around, you wouldn't want them doing something negative to your account. So they can't do something positive to your account either. Even if it's for your own good, they can't do it per the terms of that contract, because they can get in trouble. Well, same thing with your grant terms, your award letters, and things that spell out exactly what you need to do with that grant money. If you find that you can't do what you are there to do, have you reached out to your grant funders? Have you reached out to them to say, we need an extension. We know that we can get back to this work. We can do this once everything is back to normal, whatever normal looks like at that point. But we need an extension. We need to be able to push this out into the future. Or things have changed so radically that we cannot do this anymore. It doesn't make sense for us to do this anymore. We've been in that situation ourselves at Sequoia Fund. We have had that situation, and we've reached out to our federal funders, by the way, who are pretty staunch. They are not very forgiving. And we've said, is there a way that we could tweak how we use this money? We are still going to serve our target market, and we are still going to do good work, and we are still going to get positive outcomes for the people we serve, but we're going to have to do it in a different way. The answer is always no until you ask. So talk to those grant funders. Ask them if there's a way you can change the terms of those award letters, do something different. Now, in all of this, make sure you're keeping your employees and your volunteers engaged and in the loop. You should be communicating regularly with the people who love you, who care for you, who fund you, who volunteer for you, who work for you, and who want to see you succeed. Put out some sort of regular communication just to them. Don't throw it out there on social media and hope they see it. Make sure you're sending weekly updates, emails, having a phone call, having a Zoom call, get everybody on a conference call. Keep those people informed and engaged, because you're going to need them when this is all over. But put on that startup hat. Get those entrepreneurial pants on and let's roll. Figure out a way to do something. Most of you are not just sitting around twiddling your thumbs waiting for things to change. And you're doing something. Most of you are. applying for the PPP loans. You're applying for the SBA economic injury disaster loans. You're applying for everything you can. You're helping your employees get unemployment insurance benefits. You're doing everything, but it's time to do a little bit more, maybe. Is there something else you could be doing? Are you taking time away from the madness? Are you taking time away from the social media bad news? Are you getting out from in front of the television and turning off the radio and not listening to all of the bad that's going on and taking time to really think, to strategize, to plan, to get creative? That's what we need most. And you are the people who do it best. You really are. People downplay nonprofits, and there's that word again, nonprofits. People downplay for-cause organizations, but you're some of the most creative, hardworking people out there. Don't let this event, and that's all this is. It's an event. Don't let this event, this episode, whoop you, right? Let's get in there and do what we do best. Be entrepreneurial about it. If there's anything we can do for you at Sequoia Fund, whether it's an emergency loan, whether it is just advice and counsel, whether you need someone to turn to just as a sounding board, we are here. We have a staff that has been in the nonprofit world and the for-profit world for years, and we see both sides. We see all sides of it. We have the benefit of learning from our own clients and being able to bring that experience to you and your organization. Reach out to us if we can help you. We would love to help you, because we're all going to need each other when all this is over. So for right now, get in there, be entrepreneurial, and we'll see you on the other side.